Okay, so I sent y'all the playlist. Does everybody have it, or am I needing to copy it on here? Good, good. Okay, very good. Let's get started. We're gonna start on our backs. Hand on the heart and one on the belly. Focusing in on the breath, on the inhales and the exhales. Letting yourself become grounded, to become present with this current moment. Nice big inhales and exhales. And go ahead and set an intention for tonight's class. Maybe it's something you're specifically working on, or maybe you need a little inspiration. So tonight we're just focusing on just having a little bit of fun, not holding on to anything tightly, just letting it be. Wherever it lands, whatever happens, that's where we're going. And I guess it goes with my showing up late, right? We're just gonna let that be for just for tonight. And releasing that intention, whatever way feels most natural. Go ahead and start that playlist. The toes are extending long, fingers are extending long behind you. Nice big body stretch, allowing that body to lengthen. Next breath, we'll bring the knees into the chest. Give yourself a nice big hug. Finding a little bit of movement side to side to get that release in that low back. Grabbing a hold of the outside parts of the feet. Open up those legs and your happy baby. Everything might still be a little tight right now, but I want you to breathe into those tight spaces. Allow the breath to travel to the hips. Nice big inhales and exhales. Gently release the feet, extending the legs nice and long. Toes are reaching up for the ceiling. Flex the feet so you can get that stretch all behind the legs. Nice big inhales and exhales. Let's go ahead and interlace those hands behind the head. And crunch on up. Bring that torso towards the knees. Exhale, come back down. Keep the legs exactly where they're at. Inhale, crunch on up. Exhale, come back down. We're gonna find 4 more of these. Maybe you move at your breath pace. And after that last set, I want you to keep that crunch. Nice big inhales and exhales. Release that grasp behind the head. Reach those arms nice and long towards the front. See if you can find a little less space between the belly and the tops of the legs. Keep those feet flexed. Nice big inhales and exhales. Keeping the shoulders lifted, we're gonna let the feet come down just an inch. Just an inch more. An inch more. An inch more. Breathe. For 4. For 3. For 2. And 1. Cross those ankles. Bring that torso on up into a comfortable seated position. Nice, easy seated position. That spine is nice and long. Crown of the head up towards the sky. Nice big inhales and exhales here. Inhale those arms up overhead. Exhale, right hand is coming onto that left knee. Left hand coming behind you as you find a twist. Allowing that spine to lengthen, reaching for the sky. Maybe there's a soft little peek over that left shoulder. Next breath, reach up high. Exhale, left hand coming onto that right knee, right hand coming behind you as you twist on this opposite side. Maybe noticing the small differences between both of the sides. Breathing into the tight spaces. Next breath, reach up high. Exhale, relax on over those legs. A little bit of a roundness to the back. Get that release all through the spine. Nice big inhales and exhales here. Let's go ahead and roll on forward into that tabletop. Undoing those legs, hands are underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. That spine is nice and long, crown of the head reaching forward. Let that belly or that chest drop down and open up as that tailbone reaches up for the sky. Curve the spine, round that back in your cat. Moving through your cat-cow flow, your breath pace. Taking your time, finding movement side to side. Being a little playful here with welcoming in those movements. Maybe even exaggerate a few of them. Just a few more breaths. Even yourself out. Meeting back in that neutral tabletop. Let's tuck those toes under. Lift those hips up towards the sky. Downward facing dog. Pedal out the feet. Find some movement here. Feeling that stretch all the way behind the legs. Taking your time as you pedal. Just a few more breaths here before settling in. Embracing that stillness. That left foot is nice and grounded. Right leg is reaching up towards the sky. Stack the hips, bend that knee. Breathe. Our next breath, we're bringing that knee to the nose. Extend it back high. Knee to the nose. Let that knee come on down. The right hand is coming down. Left arm is opening up. We're in this modified side plank. Breathe. Exhaling that left hand on down. Bringing that right knee back to face the front. Back toes are tucked under. Bring that right knee in towards the belly. Push that ground away. Breathe. Nice big inhales and exhales. Let's step that foot in between those hands, low runner's lunge. Allow that left hip to drop down towards the earth. That right knee might come a little in front of that right ankle. Breathe. Bring the hips slightly back to let that left knee come on down. Untuck those toes. Let's inhale those arms on up. Breathe. Exhale those hands on down. Frame that foot. Let the hips go on back. Right toes up towards the sky. Drag that right heel. Keep that torso relaxed on over that right leg. That spine is nice and long. Feeling that stretch all behind that right leg here. Nice big inhales and exhales. Let's bring that weight back into that right foot. Tuck the back toes under. Lift that back leg. Stepping that left foot up to meet the right, top of the mat. Relax on over those legs. Maybe you heel toe to find a little bit of space in between the feet. Let's grab a hold of opposite elbows and just letting gravity take over. Breathing into the tight spaces behind the legs. Nice big inhales and exhales. Gently release the hands. Come up halfway. Create that number 7. Exhale on over those legs. Inhale, come all the way up to standing. Reach up high. Exhale down into our chair. Nice big inhales and exhales. Maybe those hands are next to the ears. They can stay at heart center. See what feels nice for that low back. Let's come into the balls of the feet. Lift up those heels. Bring that bum down a little deeper. And a little deeper. And a little deeper. Breathe. We're in that toe stand now. Let that bum come on down into our boat. So that bum is down, those legs are out. Create that 90-degree angle. If the hands need to come down, let them come down. You're breathing here. Nice big inhales and exhales. Keep that breath going. Time to find a little bit of playfulness. Those hands coming behind the head. Nice and light. Right elbow is going to find that left knee. Extend that right leg nice and long. Come back to center. Left elbow, right knee. Extend that left leg. Back to center. Now move at your breath pace. It's kind of like we're bike riding on the beach. Nice and fun. Maybe it starts becoming one of our favorites. We're here for 5, for 4, for 3. Last 2. Even yourself out. Back to center, release those hands. Reaching those hands towards the front once more. Planting the feet on down. Some of you might be able to rock forward, or maybe you pretend like you rock forward. You're on the balls of the feet. Back in that toe stand. Hands make their way to heart center. Let's lift on up, engaging those quads into our high chair. Breathe. 4, 3. Let the heels drop. 2. Exhale on over those legs. Wiggle it out. Come up halfway. Plant those hands. Step, jump, hop it on back. Find your flow. We're meeting in our downward facing dog. Connecting with that breath. Allowing those hips to reach up high. Gently guiding the heels down towards the mat. Strengthen that right leg, nice and strong, nice and sturdy. Left leg will rise. Bend that knee, stack those hips. Breathe. All right, let's bring that left knee to the nose. And lift it up to the sky. Knee to nose. Plant that knee on down. Left hand is planted down. Right arm is reaching up towards the sky. Right foot is sealed on down. We're in our modified side plank. Breathe. Nice big inhales and exhales here. Allow that heart to shine, just like a bright star in the sky. Exhaling that right hand on down. Tuck the back toes under. Lift that left knee. Bring that knee to the belly. Breathe. 3, 2, 1. Planting that foot in between those hands. Low runner's lunge. Allow that right hip to drop on down. That left knee is moving a little bit in front of that ankle. Nice big inhales and exhales. Feeling that release in that right hip. Okay, allow the hips to go back just a hair to bring that right knee on down. Untuck those toes. Let's inhale those arms on up. Reach up high. Allow that heart to shine. Exhaling those hands on down, framing that foot. Allow the hips to go on back. Left toes up towards the sky. Keep that torso on over towards that left leg. Breathing into the tight spaces behind that left leg. Nice big inhales and exhales. All right, coming back into that left foot. Tuck the back toes under, lift that back leg. Let's step that right foot up to meet the left. Relaxing on over those legs. I want you to heel toe the feet open to find a little bit of space. So a little wider than that hip distance. Bend that left knee and then lift that left heel up from the ground. Left hand stays planted down. Right arm is reaching up. If you want, maybe that right arm reaches behind you, and maybe that left arm sneaks under that left leg. It's still pretty early, so maybe things don't necessarily happen, and that's okay. But breathe. Being playful with your movements. Gently release whatever you took. Let's bring that left heel on down. Right hand is coming on down. Bend that right knee, lift that right heel. Right hand might stay planted or you're on those fingertips. Left arm is peeling up towards the sky. Breathe. Try to keep that left leg nice and straight so you can feel that stretch. Maybe that left arm tucks behind the back. And then maybe that right arm comes underneath that right leg. The fingers might lace, they might not. We're gonna try this again later, so no need to rush anything. Releasing whatever variation you took. Letting that right heel come on down. Right hand, left hand, both hands are down. Relax on over those legs, wiggle it out. Come up halfway. Exhale on over those legs. Inhale all the way up to standing, reach up high. Exhale those hands down to heart center. Inhale those arms back up. Grab a hold of that left wrist, side bend to the right. Allowing that left foot to stay grounded, creating that space on that whole left side of the body. Inhale up to center, grab a hold of that right wrist, side bend to the left. Nice big inhale back to center, reach up high. As you exhale, swan dive on down. Inhale, come up halfway. Plant those hands, step, jump, hop it on back with that next breath. Move through your flow, meeting in our downward facing dog. Nice big inhales and exhales. Keep that breath going. All right, that left foot is grounded, right leg is reaching up high. Bend that knee, stack those hips. If you're wanting to flip that dog on over, go ahead and let those right toes touch on down. Right arm is opening on up. Shine that heart. Coming back into our three-legged dog, we all go. Exhale forward, three-legged plank. Breathe. Nice big inhales and exhales. Let that knee come to the nose. Extend it back. Maybe this time, after that knee to the nose, and you bring it back, you come down halfway and push up. Knee to nose, extend back, maybe halfway down, lift up. Last time, knee to nose, extend back, come down halfway. Open up that heart, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Lift that right leg up high. Stepping that right foot outside of that right hand. Breathe. Breathing into the hip. Nice big inhales and exhales here. Pushing that ground away. That right arm is still pushing into that right leg. Breathe. All right. Let's step that right foot back to meet the left. High plank. If you want to go high to low, you can. Otherwise, those hips are going up towards the sky, downward facing dog. So finding the intensity that works best for you. The left leg rises with that next breath. Bend that knee, stack those hips. Letting that foot drop down behind you if you flipped. Left arm peeling open. Coming back around, back into that three-legged dog. Reach up high. Exhale forward, three-legged plank. Now I want you to keep in mind, you can always let that opposite knee come down at any point in time, okay? You don't have to keep it floating. But if you're here, maybe you practice pushing that right heel towards the back of the room. Bring that knee to the nose. Extend it back. Knee to nose. Extend back. Knee to nose. Extend back. Maybe you come down halfway. Lift up. Knee to nose. Extend back. Push forward. Half down, up. Knee to nose. Push it back. Halfway down. Inhale that heart open. Woo! Exhale, downward facing dog. Lift that left leg up high. Step that left foot outside of that left hand. You're nice and high here. Breathing into the hip. Pushing that left arm into that left leg, nice and strong. Nice big inhales and exhales. Just a few more breaths. All right, let's step that left foot back to meet the right, high plank. If you want to go through your flow, you can. I want you to keep in mind, you can always find that chaturanga flow still with having those knees down, and you can still go through the motions. Working on strength, working on that breath, being a little playful with your emotions, with your movements, trying things that maybe you aren't used to, and getting out of that comfort zone. Bend those knees, step, jump, hop, top of the mat. Come up halfway. Exhale over. Grab a hold of opposite elbows. Now I want you to dance side to side, just like you're dancing in Havana here. Release. Come up halfway. Exhale over. Inhale all the way up to standing. Reach up high. Exhale down into your chair. Nice big inhales and exhales. I want you to focus in on that breath. Let those arms come up towards the ears. And as you exhale, I want you to let that belly rest on the tops of the legs. Push those arms back behind you. Inhale, lift that belly. Exhale, push that belly down. Move those arms back. Inhale, up with those arms. Exhale, push down. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, push down. 2 more. Inhale, up. Exhale, down. I think 1 more. Inhale, up. Exhale, down. Breathe. Let's shift that weight on over towards that left leg. Right heel becomes nice and light. You're lifting it up and pushing it back into your warrior 3. Allow that spine to lengthen. Those right toes are facing down. So we're exploring different movements that we probably aren't used to going into a certain way. Seeing what happens. Let those hands come to heart center. Inhale, lift on up. Bring that right knee up with you into that pillar pose. Feel that strength in that left leg. Feel that strength in the body. In order to be playful, we have to be strong. So we're learning our strength as we're becoming playful. Left hand coming onto the outer part of that right leg, right arm reaching behind as we twist. Release it, come back to center. Bring that right knee down, left knee bends. Back in that chair, exhale on over those legs. Grab a hold of opposite arms. Go ahead and flow side to side. Final dancing movements. So even though the song might have ended, we're still finding a little bit of movement side to side. Welcoming in our next song. Maybe you start moving side to side a little quicker. I feel like I can dance now thanks to Annie. So we're incorporating some dance here. Release those hands, let those hands come down. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale on over those legs. Inhale all the way up to standing, reach up high. Oh, exhale down into your chair. Breathe. Nice big inhales and exhales here. Let those hands reach up. So just like what we did before, let that belly come down. That bum comes down even more. Reach those arms back. Inhale, disconnect that belly and the top of the legs. Let those arms reach high. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. 3. Exhale. 2. Exhale. 1. Exhale. Breathe. Shift that weight on over towards that right leg. Left heel will lift. Nice and strong with that right leg. Let's push that left leg on back. Warrior 3. Left toes are facing down. That spine is nice and long, nice and strong with that right leg. Inhale and exhale. Let those hands come to heart center as you lift that left leg on up into that pillar pose. Nice and strong with that root, those roots of that right leg, that right foot, holding you steady, strong. Right hand coming outside of that left leg, left arm reaching for the back. Nice big inhales and exhales here as we twist. Release that twist, come back to center. Bend that right knee, left foot is coming down as we sit on down into our chair once more. Breathe. Nice big inhales and exhales. All right, left elbow finds that right knee as we twist. Possibly those arms open out nice and wide. You can keep them closed. There's the option of finding side crow here if you're still wanting some fire. So if you're wanting that side crow, you're gonna go into that toe squat like how we began. Those hands are nice and wide, creating that shelf, framing that whole right side basically. And then you're gonna bend those arms just like you did in chaturanga. Gently allow the feet to come up. Engage that outer belly. It's nice and strong. Flex the feet if you can. Some days it's there, some days it's not. And it's okay. No big deal. Just 2 more breaths. Whether you're playing, whether that means the arms up or flying, I want you to close those arms. Come to center. Exhale on over those legs. Wiggle it out. Let that bum drop. Hands coming back to heart center. Right elbow finds that left knee. Twist. Option of opening up those arms. Option of keeping them closed or building that fire even more. Woo. Coming into that toe squat. Hands are planted down. Nice and strong. Create that shelf where the hip and the knee can kind of rest. Engage that outer belly. Lift up those toes. Flex the feet. Once you're done playing, no matter what you took, those hands are center. Bring them to center all the way. That bum is low. I know it's tired. Exhale on over those legs. Wiggle it out. Woo. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale on over those legs. Plant the hands. Step it on back. High plank. Breathe. We're here for 4, for 3, for 2. Last one. If you want to go high to low, feel free. We're meeting in down dog. Bend the knees. Let the knees come down towards the mat. Hips are going back. Just find a quick child's pose. Focusing in on those inhales and those exhales. Finding that lightness in the body, that playfulness. Connect with that breath. Be here just for a few more breaths. Roll on up into that tabletop. Tuck the toes under. Lift those hips up. Downward facing dog. Breathe. Nice big inhales and exhales. Left leg rises. Let's step that foot in between those hands. Low runner's lunge. Breathe. Maybe you find a little bit of a bounce even to stretch out that front of the hip. As you exhale, I want you to straighten that left leg. Maybe that right heel comes down. If you need to shorten the stance, go ahead and shorten that stance. All 10 toes are facing forward. Feel that stretch behind that left leg. Nice big inhales and exhales. I want you to connect with that breath. All right, right hand stays down. Left hand might come to the hip, or maybe it comes all the way up. Nice big inhales and exhales here. As we exhale, we're letting that left hand come in front of that left foot. Bend that left knee, tilt forward, open on up into that half moon. So that spine is nice and long, nice and strong. If you want to challenge your balance a little bit more, that left hand is going to come up from the mat. Maybe it comes to heart center. Right hand might come to heart center. Breathe. Bend that left knee. Those right toes are touching on down, opening on up into your warrior 2. So strong arms, bend in that left knee. Soft gaze over those left fingers. Breathe. Flip that left palm up to the sky. Exhale that warrior. Next breath, that left hand is coming down inside of that left leg. Right arm is reaching up towards the sky. I want you to keep that torso open. That heart shining forward, lighting the way. Nice big inhales and exhales. Just 2 more breaths. Next breath, you're coming back up, but you're straightening that left leg, a little bit of a micro bend, sky archer. Back into that side angle with that next breath. So bend that left knee, left hand coming down inside of that left leg, right arm reaching high. So there's that option of that bind that we did earlier with both of our feet up, but we're in a little different position. So maybe that left arm comes underneath that left leg, maybe that right arm reaches behind, and you take a bind here. If you're binding, I want you to keep that heart open, so that left shoulder is still making its way towards that left leg. Now, option to be even a little bit more playful, you can kind of shimmy that right foot in, create that balance, just like what we did in that pillar pose, creating those roots. The left toes become nice and light, and you start lifting on up. And you can do this without having that bind. Just have that arm connected to the leg, that right arm still behind you. Maybe you flex that foot out, maybe it doesn't flex out. Breathe. Good. Gently bend that right knee. Let yourself come back down. Softly and gently. Undo that bind so that left hand can come back down before you extend that right leg back out. Exhale, right hand is coming on down. Walk those hands on over towards that right foot. Bend that right knee, left toes up towards the sky. Breathe. So there's an option here of letting that right hand come in front of that right leg. That left arm is going to reach up high for a twist. If you want to bind, you can even bind. That left arm still finding its way behind the back as you see my fingers kind of waving here. And that right hand might come in front of that knee to find that bind. This is a lot trickier. Good, maybe it happens, maybe it doesn't, but there's a lot going on there. I want you to focus on that left leg. Feel that stretch. If you took that bind, release it. We're gonna come down onto the bum just for a second. That right knee is still facing up. Left leg is still facing out. I want you to turn that torso on over towards that left leg. Start walking those hands towards that left leg. So you're humbling on in. Keep that right knee exactly where it's at. Don't let it fall to one side or the other. Breathe. Nice big inhales and exhales. Lift that torso back up. We're gonna bring that left foot to the long side of the mat. We're now off the mat, and that's okay. I want you to interlace those fingers underneath that ball of that left foot. Right foot stays exactly where it's at. It's not going anywhere. And lift that leg on up. So you can stay here, feeling that stretch all behind that left leg. So we're doing a lot of hammies today because Brenda requested hammies. So that's what happens. But we're feeling that stretch all behind that leg. If you want to play a little bit more, you can let that right heel come a little closer to the bum. Now, I'm not there yet, but so I hear and I've seen, if you rock and roll and you find that right balance, you can find that pistol squat. So let me show you what it looks like with my hand on the floor. So you shift forward, having that left leg up. And then if you still want to be even a little bit more playful, and if you want to see how this feels, you can always let that left hand come down and just play with that. It's a lot happening. But if you want a little bit more to be a little playful and you feel pretty balanced in this pistol squat, you're going to engage that right leg and lift on up into standing. Once you're done being playful, you're going to let that bum come on down. Breathe. All right, release that leg. Open up that right knee. It's going to find the inner part of that leg in our little seated tree. Left hand reaching that outer part or that right knee. Right hand reaching out behind you. Spine is nice and long. Inhale it up and over. An option that I like to find sometimes, and it feels nice with my body, it might feel nice with yours. I like to bring my right arm back and lift my torso, and then exhale, come back down. So it's like I'm finding this little, almost like a yo-yo kind of motion, going side to side. I just feel like I'm able to breathe a little bit better and just find that stretch a little more or a little deeper with having some movement. Just kind of warms things up. And then maybe you stay in stillness eventually. Releasing that bind. That right hand is coming down behind you. We're pushing that right knee into the mat. Those hips are going up. That left foot is sealing on down in our grounded wild thing. Breathe. Exhale, bring those hips back down. All right, bringing that right knee back up. Left leg is going back out to the side. Bring that weight back into the ball of that right foot. Doesn't have to look graceful. Coming back into or walking those hands on over towards those left toes. And the right toes are facing the front. So we're in a low runner's lunge with that left leg forward. Having that bend in that left knee. Step that right foot to meet the left. Relax on over those legs. Wiggle it out. Nice big inhales and exhales. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale on over. Inhale all the way up to standing, reach up high. Exhale, swan dive back down. Inhale, come up halfway. Plant those hands. Step, jump, hop it on back. We're finding our flow, meeting in our downward facing dog. Nice big inhales and exhales here. All right, that right leg rises. Stepping that foot in between those hands, low runner's lunge. Breathe. Nice big inhales and exhales here. Our next breath, let those arms come on up. Finding that crescent. Open on up, warrior two. So bend in that right knee. Sealing that left foot on down. Arms are nice and long, nice and strong. Soft gaze over those right fingers. Flip that right palm to the sky. Exhale that warrior. Next breath, finding that side angle with that right hand down inside of that right leg, left arm reaching high. Breathe. 3 more breaths. Lifting back up, straightening that right leg, a little bit of a micro bend to reach that right arm high. Next breath, back into that extended side angle with that right hand on down, left arm on up. Option of letting that left arm come behind you. Maybe that right arm comes underneath that leg as well. For that bind, pushing that torso into that right leg, keeping that heart open, those shoulders stacked. Option of staying here. Option of letting that left foot come towards the center, shifting that weight into that strong left leg, and the right toes come up. Again, you don't have to have that bind. You can keep that elbow connected to the knee. Lift that torso on up. Maybe you extend that leg. Maybe it doesn't extend. Breathe. Bend that left knee. Gently let that right foot come on down. Go ahead and step that left foot on back. Undo that bind. Walking those hands on over towards that left foot. Bend that left knee, right toes up towards the sky. Breathe. Nice big inhales and exhales here. Option of letting that left hand come inside of that left leg. Right arm reaching up high. You have that option of finding that bind, that right arm coming behind you. That left arm finding its way in front of that left knee. Or finding the variation that suits you. Keep that heart shining open though. Those right toes flexed. That strength in that left leg. Bring that bum on down. Release that bind if you didn't already. We're bringing that right leg forward. Bend that right knee, interlace the hands underneath that right foot. Go ahead and extend that leg nice and long. Bring that left heel a little closer towards the bum. Breathing behind that right leg now. Nice big inhales and exhales. Option of playing around. So maybe that hand comes down to help you keep that right leg lifted. Right, whichever hand feels better. Playing with that pistol squat. Nice big inhales and exhales. See if you can relax that left heel down. Woo. Once you're done playing, let that bum come on down. Release that bind. Allow that left leg to open out. That foot is tucking in, finding that seated tree. Right hand is reaching for that left knee. Left arm reaching behind you. Inhale up and exhale over. Option of finding that movement, coming up and bending that elbow. Exhaling, coming back forward. Just a few more breaths. Inhale, lift back up. Plant those hands on down. Bring that left knee back up towards the sky. Shift that weight forward. Framing that foot. Walk those hands on over towards that right foot. All 10 toes are facing the front. Low runner's lunge. Breathe. Nice big inhales and exhales. Now I want you to step that left foot in just a hair. That spine is nice and long. We're in our pyramid. Left hand is going to stay down. Right hand might come to that right hip, or maybe it twists all the way up. Woo. Exhale, right hand is coming down in front of that right foot. Tilt on up, open up those hips. Find that half moon. Letting that right hand maybe come to the heart. Woo, maybe that left hand comes to the heart. Allow that spine to lengthen. Just 2 more breaths. Let that left foot come on down. Bend that right knee, but we're framing that foot now. So all 10 toes will face towards the front. Stepping that right foot back to meet the left. Nice big inhales and exhales here. Let's step that left leg forward outside of that left hand. And I just want you to spend some time here. Maybe it's straightening, unbending. Just taking a few breaths here with this hip. It's feeling a little uneven and I can't remember what we did. So this is how we're making up for this hip. And again, just let yourself be playful. Allowing that body to guide you for the motions it's needing. Maybe it's an extended side angle just for a few breaths to really get into that left hip. All right. Back into that stillness. Now we're framing that left foot now. Lift that left knee up or that left foot up so that knee is kind of parallel. We're pushing that ground away in this, we're prepping for a pigeon. So pushing that ground away. And then let that leg relax on down. Right leg is pushing on back. That heart might stay open for a few breaths before making your way down. There's the option of bending that right knee, grabbing a hold of that right foot with the left hand. If you want to still be a little playful, maybe you keep that torso nice and up. You're engaging that bum. That torso is nice and high. And you play with lifting those right fingers off of the mat. And maybe you grab a hold of that foot. It's going to really intensify things. You might even play with switching that grip, letting that right foot grab a hold, or that right hand grab a hold of that right foot versus the left hand, and see how that feels. You can play with lifting that left arm up. Once you're done playing, whatever motions you're finding, I want you to release that leg, let it be soft, and then start finding your way down onto the mat, easing into this left hip. Nice big inhales and exhales. Another option here in pigeon, if you're wanting to explore, right? We have a lot of options going on tonight. You can lift that torso on up. That left arm is threading underneath that right arm, kind of threading the needle here. That left side of the head is going to relax on down. Get a stretch on that upper body as well as that lower body. If you try this and you stop breathing, I want you to back out. Be here just for 3 more breaths. Gently lift that torso on up after that 3rd breath. I want you to roll onto the outer part of that left leg. That right leg is coming up and around. So those knees will stack upon each other. Kara, this is our seated cow face, so you can see how it feels this way. I want you to bring that right hand towards the inner part of the leg, right in the thigh where you have that crease in the leg. And gently guide that hip down because it's going to want to stay popped up. So gently guide it down towards the earth, keeping both of those sit bones down. Now you might stay here, right? That hip might be really tight. That's okay. You can grab a hold of opposite feet. If grabbing a hold of opposite feet is not working for you, maybe you grab a hold of the ankles. Allow that spine to be long. Some of you might fold on over the legs. This will really intensify things. So if you try this out and it's a little too much, back out. Keep that torso up. Just a few more breaths here. Let's lift that torso on up with that next breath. All right, so this is gonna be kind of weird, but we're gonna try it out, right? We're being fun, we're being playful. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. So those hands are planted down. We're gonna shift that weight forward, allowing that right foot to come down onto the earth. I want you to walk those hands to the left. Keep walking them all the way behind the mat so those legs will straighten. Keep walking them to the left. Keep walking them towards the front. Allow that right knee to drop down, that left knee drops down. So we're in cow face with opposite leg on top. Magic. And if it didn't happen, it's okay. That left leg is gonna be on top of the right. So if you have to get there the other way, we'll pretend like it was magic. Allowing that heart to shine bright. That spine is long. You can grab a hold of opposite feet if you'd like. Again, that left hand, maybe for a few seconds, will come to the inner part of that leg, that crease, just to gently guide that hip down. Nice big inhales and exhales. Option of folding on over if you're ready. Breathe into the hip. Breathe into those tight spaces. Guiding the breath. So throughout the practice, we were learning that the hard things, they might be fun or they might just be hard, but sometimes you have to practice those hard things in order to find the fun in it. It just takes time. We're learning to be in the difficult places, situations, just so we can find a little lightness over time. Gently lift that torso on up. That left leg is coming up. Roll onto that right outer hip. Allow that left leg to come all the way back. So we're finding our pigeon on this opposite side. Adjust as needed. So allowing the torso to come up just for a few breaths. And then maybe you bend that left knee, grabbing a hold of that knee, or excuse me, of that right foot with the right hand for a twist. Breathe. Option of playing a little bit more, coming maybe up onto the left fingertips. You change the grip of the foot. Maybe that left hand reaches for the foot. Maybe it doesn't make it, and it's okay. And then you switch that grip, letting that left hand touch or grab onto that left foot. Torso's nice and high, up on those fingertips. Option of playing with that right hand. Let yourself be light. Let yourself be playful. And then gently release that foot, that leg, and find some ease now in this right hip, in this pigeon pose. Nice big inhales and exhales here. So if you liked that twist on the opposite side, you can find it on this side as well. Letting that left arm tuck underneath that right. Just 2 more breaths. Lifting that torso on up. Planting those hands, tuck the back toes under, lift that back leg, bring that right knee up towards the belly. Breathe. Extend that right leg on back. Allow the hips to go up towards the sky. Maybe you pedal out the feet. Find a bend in the knees. And then we'll gently walk the feet up towards the top of the mat. Relaxing on over those legs once more. This time, instead of grabbing opposite elbows, maybe you try grabbing those opposite elbows behind the legs, or grab onto opposite legs or the calves behind the back. You can have a big bend in the knees, that's okay. That torso is heavy, that head is heavy. Allowing yourself to just humble on in. Releasing that bind. Let the hands come down in front of you. Bend those knees, come onto the balls of the feet, let that bum come on down. And we're gonna bring that bum down. Those legs are opening on up into our butterfly, just for a breath. Let's grab let's grab the big toes with the peace fingers. That spine is nice and long. And then you're gonna bring the feet in towards the belly, or towards the center, to find a little kind of motion where you're able to find that balance, because what we're doing is we're gonna lift the feet up and then extend them on out. A little happy bear. Nice big inhales and exhales. There we go. I'll be here for 3, for 2, and 1. See if you can bring the legs together and straight. Again, we're being playful, so if you fall out, it's okay. It's very hard. Oh, and then bend those knees, let the soles of the feet come down onto the mat, release the feet. That spine is nice and long. Find that right adjustment along your mat to make your way down onto your back. So those hands reach forward, that chin tucks in just a hair. Start making your way down onto your back, slowly and gently. Allowing that back of the head to rest. Maybe those arms reach behind you. Lift up those legs. So we're on our back in a tabletop-like position. And we're gonna cross that left leg on top of the right. Grab opposite feet. So we're reclined in this cow face. I want you to notice the difference versus when you were seated versus on your back. And if you're able to find a little bit more space, a little bit more ease, if the knees want to drop down towards the mat, go ahead and let them drop down. Nice big inhales and exhales here. Just 2 more breaths. Allow the knees to come up if they were down. We're switching the legs, so that right leg is on top of the left. Bring the knees in towards the chest maybe. Keep the knees up towards the sky or bring them down towards the mat. Two more breaths here. If the knees were down, go ahead and lift them. Undo the legs, maybe you wiggle it out a bit. And then let the knees come into the chest. Give yourself one last big hug. So allowing yourself to explore your options, to explore your playfulness. Maybe you find a twist, maybe that serves you today. Maybe those legs extend up towards the ceiling, or there's a plow or bridge. Maybe you're wanting a little bit more hips and that happy baby. Taking 2 to 3 breaths, finding any final movements your body's needing, your body's craving, before settling in into that final resting pose, into that Shavasana. And then settling in into that final resting pose, into that Shavasana. Allowing the body to become heavy. The muscles will soften, releasing any tension we're still holding on to. And finding that ease in the body for the next few breaths. Softly and gently, beginning to bring awareness back into the body, back into the breath, welcoming in those gentle movements into the fingers and the toes, allowing those bigger movements to come into the body, eventually letting the knees come into the chest, giving yourself one last big hug. And then letting yourself fall on over either to the right or the left side. Taking a few moments here to come back to that intention that you set in the beginning of class. Whatever it may have been, or coming back to that thought of just being playful and seeing where it leads you. Making your way up to a comfortable seated position, keeping the eyes closed or soft. And letting the hands come to heart center as we bow our head in gratitude. Grateful for this day, for this breath, for this beautiful life that we're given. Thank you to each of you for sharing your practice with me and for your patience today. The light, the love, and the spirit in me humbly bows to the light, the love, and spirit in each of you. Namaste.